This is the Apple Watch Ultra 2, and I always thought it was made for people who love being outdoors and active, like running, hiking, and diving. But after using it as my daily watch for the past few months, my stance has changed a little, and I'm going to share with you why I upgraded from my Series 7 and if I think the upgrade is worth it for you. About 7 months ago, I made a video on why I still think the Watch Series 7 is worth it in 2024. And don't get me wrong, I still believe that it's one of the better deals you can find in the market, but one of the main reasons I started to look for an upgrade is because of the battery life. If you go on Apple's website and compare the battery life between the Series 7 and the new Series 10, you'll see that it's both up to 18 hours, which meant that I had to rule out the Series 10 as an option for my upgrade. With 18 hours of battery life and me wearing the watch to sleep every night, it meant that I had to charge my watch every single day. At first it didn't bother me too much since I charge my phone every night, but having a wearable that you have to take off to charge and have to wear it again every day, it just started getting a little bit frustrating. And this is when I started looking into the Apple Watch Ultra 2 pretty seriously as an upgrade option, since it had 36 hours of battery life, which meant that it would essentially double the battery life. I actually have a used Apple Watch Ultra 2, and I'll get to a little bit later on how I actually got it on Facebook Marketplace. Anyway, my initial reaction was that this thing is huge on my wrist, and I also have a pretty skinny wrist, so having a 49mm watch with a flat screen on my wrist definitely took some time to get used to. And to give you a more visual reference, here's a quick side-by-side comparison of the Series 7 and Ultra 2 on my wrist, and you can see a pretty significant and noticeable difference between the watch screens. But like with phones and tablets, it's hard to go back to a smaller size when you've upgraded to a bigger model. Meaning after using my Watch Ultra 2 for a few months, when I tried on the Series 7, the 41mm screen size, it felt so tiny and I couldn't believe that I used to use this every day. Like, it's actually crazy how the size perception changed after upgrading to the Watch Ultra 2. Either way, I can guarantee you that having that extra screen real estate really makes the world of difference when you're using different apps. Like for example, the camera app where you can preview what it's capturing on your phone, on your watch, you can actually see the details of what it's capturing. The calculator app where it doesn't feel too crammed to actually be useful and I can actually type in numbers. And even just the watch faces, especially the ones that were built specifically for the Watch Ultra, feel like I can get a lot of useful information at a glance, like the Modula Ultra, which is my daily watch face, as well as the Wayfinder. For example, here's a quick look at my current daily setup. I can check the time, temperature, date, steps I took, calendar, and I still have 3 more utility spots left to fill on the bottom row. And not to mention tracking seconds that utilizes the bezels. I think this changed with the new Series 10, but up to Series 9, I believe you could only get the base aluminum model and basically pay double the money to get the stainless steel finish. But the Apple Watch Ultra comes naturally in titanium finish, which I think looks pretty classy. It's also pretty durable. Like I said, I've had the watch for the past few months and I'm a clumsy person, so I walk into walls, door frames, you name it. So I do have a few scratches on the front of the bezel, but the rest of the watch looks as good as new. Also, you can't forget about the action button that only comes with the Ultra models, and I personally have it set up currently to launch the workout app, but it can be mapped to quickly open a number of different supported apps. It's definitely a nice to have, but not really a game changer or a must-have in my opinion. So let's get back to the reason why I said I wanted to upgrade in the first place, which is the battery life. From my experience, I can pretty confidently say that the watch lasts up to 48 hours pretty comfortably, with always on display, as well as a moderate usage throughout the day. And like it says on the Apple website, I haven't personally tried it myself, but I can definitely see it lasting up to 72 hours, especially have the always on display off with the low power mode. And I'm sure you already know this, but this is under the assumption that you wear your watch to sleep every night to track your sleep. So if you don't wear your watch to bed every night, this can definitely last more than 72 hours. I have some screenshots of the battery life lasting about 48 hours and it getting to around that 10 to 20% range, and the watch will actually give you a heads up to charge your watch when it gets to around 30% range, especially if you're close to your bedtime. And having extra 24 hours of battery life might not seem like much, but it's definitely come in handy for my work trips or when I'm traveling for a day or two. I don't really have to worry about charging my watch, which is just one less cable that I have to carry. And I mean, yeah, 48 hours is not that long of battery life when it comes to health-focused watches. I know there's Garmin's, there's Fitbits of the world that last more than a week easily, but considering that this is an Apple Watch, I'm hoping that it'll eventually get there, but this is probably the best option. I mean, definitely the best option you have right now. I will say this though, I don't think I could have purchased this watch at a full retailer price of about $800. So back to the story I told you about how I found this on the Facebook Marketplace. I live in LA, and what I did was go on Facebook Marketplace every day to see if there's any used models that's up for a pretty good deal. And I ended up finding a used model at $400 in really good quality with battery health at 100%. And at $400, half the price of what it retails for, I just had to jump on the deal. As much as I've praised the Apple Watch Ultra 2 in this video, I don't think I can still fully recommend getting it for the full price of $800. And for those who might be curious, I have the Nomad Sport Band in ash green color for my Apple Watch Ultra, and I'll link my unboxing video somewhere on the screen and in the description, so feel free to check that out. So if I were to recommend an Apple Watch for someone who's coming from one of the first few generations of the Apple Watch, or just looking into getting into the Apple Watch for the first time, I'd still have to recommend any of the Apple Watches starting at Series 7 or later, especially if you can find a good used one on the market. But if you're looking to upgrade from one of the newer watch series, or would like to get the best of the Apple Watch, including bigger screen size, better battery life, as well as all the new features, obviously the Apple Watch Ultra is the best option for you. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and if you stuck around till the end of this video, please make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.